Hi guys, a very warm welcome. And in this video, I'll be showing you the demo on the AWS Elasticache service. So here you can see that I have already logged in on the AWS console in the Oregon region, and I'll be opening up the Elasticache service. Now, working on the Elasticache, we can either work on the Memcache or we can work on the Redis. So in this demo, I'll be showing you how we can create a Redis node and how we can connect to the Redis node and check the output. So what we need to do is we just have to click on get started, and it asks us to create a cluster, or what we can do is we can just directly go to the Redis clusters, and from here we can create a Redis cluster itself. Cluster is the collection of nodes. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create a free tier or a demo account, a demo instance, which will have the Redis open source platform. So I'll select a demo instead of production and the dev test environment, and I'll put the name of the cluster. Let's say I put something like Redis demo. And guys, working off or creating a Redis node or a cluster is as similar as working on the RDS only. Even the connectivity is also almost similar. Now in the connectivity, definitely we have to select a subnet group. So I'm going to select an existing subnet group. I would try to select a default VPC first. So we'll go to the view default settings, or we'll just try to identify the VPC. Generally, Redis asks you to create a cluster in the non-default VPC and a separate subnet inside the non-default VPC for the Redis cluster for the security reasons. But right now we will not be launching this Redis node in the non-default VPC. Instead, we'll be adding it in the default VPC only. And I'll just click on create a new subnet group, put a name to it. Let's say I put something like Redis subnet, and the VPC ID I'm going to select the default one. Now rest of the things would be same. In the port we need to open on the security group of the Redis cluster is 6379, just like we opened up the port for the RDS instance. Similarly, we have to open up the port for the Redis cluster also. Click on create, and here you would see the demo version of the Redis node will be created. We just have to wait for a few minutes, and then I'll be connecting to this Redis cluster node from the Redis CLI that will be running on the EC2 instance. Guys, if I would have selected a production environment, a dev test environment, then it would have given me an opportunity to create a cluster with primary and the secondary nodes also. That is primarily used for high availability. But since it's a demo, hence it asks us to create only a single node in a cluster. So here you can see, guys, I have created one Redis EC2 instance, and on that EC2 instance I'm going to CLI, which is an open source platform, and then from that Redis CLI we'll try to connect to the Redis node that we have created in the Elasticache. This is an instance with the Amazon Linux image or the operating system. I'll just click on connect, login into it, and then parallelly I've opened up the steps from the AWS documentation that would give you that what all commands that you need to put to connect to the Redis instance, and before that how you can install the Redis CLI on the EC2 Amazon Linux instance. So you can find the link, and we'll be sharing the link also in the documentation. Now here you can see that I have connected to the Linux instance, and the first thing is that we need to install the GNU compiler connections. So what we need to do, we just have to type a command sudo yum install gcc, which will install GNU compiler collections. So copy that command, paste it in the instance, Just a minute. Sudo yum install gcc. You can type that command also, and it will install the GCC on the instance. And here you can see it has installed the GCC on our instance. Now the next thing is we need to get the Redis dash stable files to install the Redis CLI on our instance, and we can copy the entire commands from the clipboard. What it does, we can download the Redis dash stable files, and then we can unzip them. After that, we will create a directory Redis dash stable, and then we are just going to put the command make if you are using the Amazon Linux instance. If you're using Ubuntu systems, then you can put make space dist clean. Alright, it will install the Redis CLI on your Linux instance, and then afterwards we can connect to our Redis node. So either you can put all the commands and directly copy paste the commands from the clipboard, otherwise you can go one by one. So I'll just copy one command and paste it on the instance. Let me clear these commands first, clear the previous issued commands and paste it here. So it has got us the Redis stable CLI files. We are going to unzip these files on the instance. So let's paste it, and then afterwards we are going to create the directory cd space redis dash stable. So we'll just paste it, and here you can see I am into redis dash stable directory, and then I'm just going to issue a command make. It is going to install the Redis CLI. It takes some time, so we'll just wait for the Redis CLI to be installed on our EC2 instance, and then we'll see how we can connect to the Elasticache node, Redis node. So we're done with that, and now we are going to connect to the Redis node. So the command is src/redis-cli-c-h, and then here we need to replace with the endpoint of our Redis node. And -p does not stand for password, but it stands for port, which is 6379, and we need to ensure that on the Redis node security group this port 6379 should be open for our instance private IP. So I'll just move to the Redis node first, identify the security group, and here let's refresh it. So here it is, the Redis node, and we'll go to the network and security. So in the custom TCP we'll add the port 6379, and in the custom IP we are going to add the private IP of our instance, which is 172.3.128.210. So it is going to be 172.3.128.210/32. So this is the IP through which we will be making a connection towards the Elasticache node. So now we are going to connect to our Redis node using this command. So I'll just copy the command to the clipboard, open the notepad, and we'll just make the changes in the command with the endpoint details. So this endpoint will be replaced with our Elasticache node endpoint. So we'll just I'll just go to the Elasticache node, and here I'll find the Elasticache endpoint. Let's wait for it. So we'll go to the Redis cluster, click on Redis demo, and here we are going to find the node, which is this one, the endpoint. Copy, paste it on the notepad, copy the command. So I'll just remove the 6379, it is not required, and this is the command that we have created to connect to our Redis node. And now we're going to paste that command in the EC2 instance node. It says the CLI is not found, so I'll just go to the root credentials, paste it again. Sorry, so we just have to go to Redis stable directory, and from here we just have to connect it. So we'll now test the connection by running these commands. So let's say I add hello to the keyword A, and then I move to the instance, paste it, set A hello, and then if I type get A, it will print hello. Similarly, if I set B AWS training, and then just a minute, and then if I get B, it will give me an output AWS training. So that means Redis is returning the values that I am adding up, and hence it is working correctly. So that was guys, how we can work on the Redis node, how we can connect to the Redis node from the CLI. Thank you for watching this video.